Hello, welcome back to Daggerfall Ironman with our Blackguard, Coralina Caymore. God, it's been through so many characters I can't really remember their names, but we're gonna change that. We've learnt from our previous experiences. Step 1, do not go to Bethany. Bethany is a terrible place. And then step 2, be prepared and just don't try and do any fancy footwork near a big ravine. Anyway, we're going to stay at this inn and get our stuff back. What would Coralina? Probably Somerset wine. She is a high elf, and she is pretty rich. So we got a pretty decent haul in one of the dungeons. I think in the first dungeon we were in, we got a pretty decent haul. Oh look, that increased our personality. That's pretty cool. Yeah, let's rest. Now, goals for today. Step 1. Get the hell out of Hammerfell. 7 o'clock. That's a good time to leave Hammerfell. Because it's just too warm. And we can't be... Here we go. We can't be in full plate armor in this place. Like, we're overheating, and it's currently spring, I believe. Yeah, spring evening in the tropics. But also, we got the letter from Brissienna, and she is in the Lucky Goat in the Black Dungeon Lodge of Daggerfall. Which sounds like a perfect opportunity to leave this place. So. Oh, hey, there we go. So, Black Dungeon Lodge is over here. This one. So let's go to... I don't want to be completely riskless. So let's go to... I mean, it doesn't really make sense to go that side, does it? Let's go... Warridge Moor. Oh, wow. Okay. I was going to say, that was a long journey, but that's going all the way around on foot. So yeah, this is going to be kind of expensive, but hey, that's what this money is for. If we can afford the journey, it's probably worth doing. But I don't want to be completely riskless and also rewardless. So we are going to do some overland travel. See, look, cool and sunny spring morning. We are... Yeah, we're not carrying too much, but we are pretty encumbered. You know what? We have enough money, we can probably see about getting a horse before we do this. And this is a pretty decent town. So yeah, let me see if I can go rustle up a horse. And I'll see you in a bit. Alright, we managed to get a horse. It did cost me pretty much my entire life savings. We have a couple of hundred gold left. But I forgot that we have to name our horse in this. And I've been absolutely smashing through Micah Raygun's... the backlog I have of his Ironman playthrough. And I really like his theme of naming his horses after songs of the band he likes. And I was trying to think, like, what would be a good one to name my horse from a song I like. And there's a song called Wenceless by Gnome that I don't know why, I think it's just because it's, you know, it's not a Christmas song, but it reminds me of Christmas, but I mean, because it's Wenceless. So I really like the idea of calling this horse Wenceless. Yeah, if you've never heard of Gnome, they're pretty cool if you like that sort of thing. But yeah, so we have a horse now. We absolutely will not be able to afford a cart, but that will be next because with all this heavy armor, it's going to be very tricky to bring any loot home. Oh yeah, and I also tried on an axe, and it was also far too expensive. So look at that. This is going to make it a lot easier. So, let's have a look. Where are we going? It was this way? Or was it the Black Dungeon Lodge over there? And I'm at here. I've already lost it. Ah, there it is. So yeah, we want to go north and then basically straight east. We could do that. Yeah. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with these parts, because Season 2 of Ironman, or at least, you know, the second block of these videos I'm making, was supposed to be Destia, and then Destia died, and then I made the new fella who stuck around for so little time I can't even remember what I called him, and so now I'm not sure if this should be part of Season 2 or its own thing or what, but well, ain't this a surprise? Yeah, we're not sticking around for that. Oh my god! Just gonna do a little serpentine there. Yeah, like I'm pretty new to this YouTube malarkey, and trying to figure out what makes a video do well or not do well is all pretty new. Oh, I can't heal because I have I can't use magic in the sunlight. That's a statue to Zenithar. That's cool. Can I interact with it? No. And I've noticed that, like, if you have a series, ooh, hello. If you go that way, there's a couple of not very nice people. Are you? Oh, it's just your sheath. I thought this was like a. It kind of looks like he has like a Daedric sword, doesn't it? No, that's just his scabbard. Yeah, I've noticed that if you have like part numbers or like, you know, a series, there's obviously like some attrition. Some people will watch part 1. Well, you know, most people will watch part 1, and a percentage of those people will stick around for part 2, and then a percentage of those people will stick around for part 3. But let's just get some breakfast. But I've noticed something really interesting, because like you can see the like retention statistics. So like, I don't know why I had it here. This character's not really ale. We'll just rest up a little bit as well, just to get our health back, because we did get whacked by an arrow. But yeah, you can see the retention statistics. So like, oh, I shouldn't have gone the whole way to 7. Yeah, we're gonna stay here for another day. And go in them. Well, actually, if we go at night, we'll be able to cast our magic. Yeah, let's do that, just in case we get ambushed. Anyway, I will finish this sentence. There's a horse. Yeah, so you can see like of. Oh yeah, I got the Handheld Torches mod. So yeah, you can see like how of the people who watched it, like on average, when did they stop watching? And for earlier parts, that's quite early, because like a lot of people probably just click on it and then they just don't vibe with the video and then they leave. But then as the attrition takes place and more people. Ooh. Oh, there's something over there. As more people, okay, it's just a wolf. We could probably take this. Oh, see, look at this. This is what I wanted. Yeah, as obviously more people leave, and it's just the people who actually like really enjoy the video stick around. That retention number goes up, which I thought was really interesting. Oh, that's really cool. I like that. So in the last part, like, I say the last part, I haven't actually uploaded the first part of Coralina yet, but the last part of Destia and the other fella hasn't got that many views, but it's like the most, like, people have watched the longest on it, which is really interesting. So I'm really at a dilemma of what to do for these, because if I just tack them on to Season 2, their chances are they're going to have a really low view count, which, you know, I'm not really in this to get like millions of views, but like it's nice to know that people are finding these videos and enjoying them and watching them. So, I don't know. Anyway, a knight appears from out east and waves you down. Hey, I'm looking for an outlaw around this area. A cat burglar who's been causing chaos in the nearby villages. His name is... Not knowing the man in question, you shake your head. Very well, may Kinnereth bless you. I like to imagine that he's looking for Bogard. Although, Bogard's most active in Wayrest these days. Yeah, there we go. We're almost at Singwood. Keep going east. Oh, it's really, really chugging. In fact, let's just drop one of them, just in case we crash again. We shouldn't do, but... Okay, the what I predicted would happen actually happened. We did crash, and it seems to be some issue with the overland travel. Like, it just the frames just absolutely tank when I try and like travel along a road with faster speed, which is a shame because I was enjoying that. But we are almost at our destination, so I think let's just do the final stretch manually. We don't need this anymore. There we go. Right. The Lucky Goat. I think that was the one. Let's just hitch our horse up here. Oh, it's so much nicer actually having a horse. Maybe that's what's causing it, like actually being fast enough on a horse. I hope not, because I don't really want to do it without a horse. Now, if you watch the last, the Destia arc, Brissiana just did not show up for us. So I'm hoping... Yeah, there we go. See? Where were you last time? Right. Let's have a reread of this. Let's pretend we did this before we got into the room with her. I heard about your accident at sea and feared the worst. Now that I've heard you're alive and well, I would like the opportunity to meet with you and discuss our beloved Emperor's mission in the Iliac Bay. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Lady Magnusson, the Emperor's agent in the court of Daggerfall. My position is not so official as an ambassador. None but other agents of the Emperor know my true affiliation. The Iliac Bay is rife with rebels against the Imperial throne, so your discretion is required. For the purpose of our meeting, I'll take a room at an inn, the Lucky Goat, in the Black Dungeon Lodge of Daggerfall for a month. After that, I will no longer be available. I will expect you as soon as possible. Well, here she is. Ah, thank you for responding to my letter, Coralina. I am Lady Brissiana. Let me bring you up to date on affairs. The spectre of King Lysandus haunts the streets of Daggerfall at night. Trying to communicate with him is futile. He will occasionally moan the word vengeance, but that is the only coherent word I've ever heard him utter. If you are ever in Daggerfall, do not wander the city at night. You are certain to be attacked by his legion of ghosts. It would probably be more gainful to investigate those who might have wronged Lysandus, to find the cause behind his torment. I do not know if the royal family of Daggerfall or another person or persons merit more suspicion. The major powers of the Bay, Sentinel, Wayrest and Daggerfall, may be good places to start. In the matter of the letter, the Emperor's agent said he was unable to hand-deliver it to the Queen because of the war. He hired a courier who supposedly delivered the letter in his stead. You do not even know the name of the courier. Obviously there is little information of use, but it would be worthwhile to see if the letter arrived at Castle Daggerfall at all. How you decide to do this is entirely your decision. I will contact you if any new information should surface. I am leaving Daggerfall soon. My position here has been compromised and my life is in danger. Do not mention my name in court. It is more likely to hurt than help. Good luck and watch your back, Coralina. I like that she warns you on that, but like as far as I know, there is no way to actually like name drop her. Like, there's not really like a dialogue system where you can like pick options that might be wrong. We should probably be careful about our money. Yeah, we are getting kind of poor. I think we should do we should go probably back to what time is it? 4 o'clock. Okay. We should probably go back to one of the other towns and let's see if we can get ourselves a dungeon quest. I think that'd be a nice way to maybe not end the episode. The episode's barely begun, but like, you know, for the main content of this episode, get some levels and stuff under our belt. Yeah, we'll go back to Singwood. I'm gonna just fast travel it for now until we figure out what is going on with my frame rate. Because yeah, this place it only has a. This is a nightly order. Would no, that looks like a temple. Let's have a look. Goodness. Now, it says Akatosh, but as we know from before, they sometimes get their statues a bit mixed up. Yeah, this is the Akatosh Chantry, I don't know how I'm supposed to say it in my accent. We are not interested, I believe. We selected none for the gods. Let's try Warridgemore again. This place was pretty good. And get ourselves a Fighters Guild quest, I think. Hopefully one that sends us to a dungeon. Yeah, there's a Fighters Guild here. Ah, gotta say, it's quite nice to have a horse. To be lucky enough to have that much money at the start of the game to be able to afford a horse. Oh, look at that. It's actually a time of day where the Fighters Guild might be open. Ooh. Oh, I love this track. Join guild. Yes. Okay, got one here that's dead simple, and the pay is bad enough to match it. The trainer upstairs is running out of bandages. We need someone to get some more. Doesn't matter where, just bandages in good shape. You want to grab this one? Oh, I've got some bandages on me. 5 bandages. How many do I have? 8. I don't see 5 bandages with you, partner. I can't give you the gold without them. How about now? No. What a... Oh, they have to be new bandages, I suppose. Right. Back to the shops then, I suppose. Oh. Anyway, it's interesting. I was just thinking about the Brissienna stuff where she's like, "Oh, don't mention my name at court. It'll harm more than it'll help," and that you can't do it is just like. So I've mentioned in previous episodes of this, but I don't presume that you've seen them all. 3 bandages there. Hopefully, even though they stack, this will count. Oh man, I really want to start getting some armor upgrades. That's like my favorite thing, is just making a character look cool. I've mentioned this in previous episodes, but like I'm running a D&D 5e, the Elder Scrolls adaptation of 5e game for my friends, which is based on Daggerfall. But like the amount I have to edit it to make it just like feel better when you're playing, because like if you, as I've found out the hard way, if you one-to-one, there we go, we have 5 bandages, one-to-one just like take the dialogues and plot points of Daggerfall, rip them out, and then put them in a game where you can basically do anything within reason. Your players obviously quickly start finding other ways of doing it, or they'll sequence break, or they'll want to go to places that you can't really go to in Daggerfall proper. So like I have to like really massage the the actual story. Oh come on! I've got 14 bandages. Do I have to have exactly 5? Oh. This quest is just broken, huh? I had 8 bandages to start with. I get 5 more, and he's like, nope. I can't even give the training person them. If I wait a while, I don't know why this would work, but yeah, like stuff like this. If this was a D&D game, tell you what, this would have worked. You know, this guy just won't talk to me now until I get 5 bandages, despite having 14 bandages. 5 ordinary bandages. Well, I don't know what you want, son. There you go. Take them. So now we have to burn 2 days and some reputation. Ooh. Quiet down. I've got a lead on a house in town that's going to be holding some big money overnight. I can tell you where, but it's going to cost you. You want to find out? Oh, yeah. And I'm not rich enough to even get that. God's sake. Right, Wenceslas. What are we going to do instead? Let's try the Mages Guild. Will it be open? Ooh, maybe. But yeah, no, like, so the whole Brisciana stuff, because I've also like compressed the world down a bit to be more like the modern map of like the Iliac Bay, because otherwise they would be there for years just trying to get from place to place. Oh, am I already in the Mages Guild? Of course I am. If you will hear it, we have a bit of a difficulty, so to speak. The famed researcher Morgaine Buckingsley has left us a manuscript of very valuable research, which needs to get to Singing Tree of Kinnereth after 8 days' time. Our colleague Victane Buckingsley won't arrive until then, so the documents must be kept safe. I don't want to mess with the Thieves Guild, I'm sorry. Anything more exasperating than the discovery that the mummy wrappings you were planning on using in a potion have gone all sorts of green? We tried this one, and we can't actually hit mummies, so no. Sponsor, we've made enemies, so we have word from a courier that a witch has cursed her with unknown insomnia. I don't have the sleep spell, I'm sorry. Help me with some research? Yes. I'm working on a particularly thorny... Oh, I think I've already accepted the quest now, damn it. Thorny problem with theoretical applied magicka. I need particular magic shoes. Oh, okay, this quest is pretty good. This one takes you to a dungeon. Babble, babble, babble. Once held by the library at... Oh yes, nowadays it's known as Castle Yumsmith. You can also try a colleague of mine, Othorian Morsley. You'll find Othorian Morsley in a dank hole called the Tower of Buckingston. Oh, a tower. There'll be spell scrolls there. So let's go to the Tower of Buckingston first. And there's not really much like prep we can do because we don't really have much money. So Tower of... Oh, it's not that far away. If my computer would behave, I would travel there manually, but alas. Oh, there we go. What was I saying? Oh, probably should have done that. There's a bridge right here. Yeah, like part of getting into the Daggerfall D&D. Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to negotiate torches a lot more now, which I really like. I know that you can just buy a lantern and you don't have to worry about it, but I want to experience the struggle before I get a lantern. Oh man. There we go. If I do that, yeah, okay. That works. Yeah, it's the first thing I've ever like DM'd, and so part of it was just coming to the realization that like you can't just rigidly stick to it, and you kind of have to take some of the best advice I ever got was like you need to think as the DM like what would the world do if the players don't intervene. Okay, I thought it was a spider. And then obviously the players do intervene, and then you have to kind of come up with the consequences of that. And so obviously what would happen if the players didn't intervene? Well, that's just the backdrop of Daggerfall, right? Is like the great cities of Daggerfall will just scheme with each other. Oh, Warhammer. I do really want to use a Warhammer, but I'm enjoying having an axe and a shield, to be honest. But also another thing that's come up is the fact that in Daggerfall, ooh, hello, the game, you know, who you really were before doesn't ever affect your standing with people or what you can do in the game. But obviously, like, if you're making a character for a D&D game, you have some semblance of a backstory. So my players, I have 3 players, and they've all come up with like very, very interesting backstories. That means that like I can just kind of give them a bit more than you would get playing Daggerfall. So for instance, oh, look at that, we just get a lantern. Okay, sure. Well, the thing is though, lantern uses oil, which is a finite resource at the moment. Okay, that works. Let's set up camp for a second. We're yeah. So for instance, one of my players, my fiance, in fact, she is playing like a pirate because she heard that there's it's a very like piratey setting. It's supposed to be like it's a bay where the instigating incident was pirates attacking this island that needed protection, Bethany. And she was like, oh, I want to be that. And then it sort of like, and then so obviously the other prerequisite is you need to be in good standing with the emperor. That's the only condition I placed on my players, was like, you need to have some reason why the emperor would choose you to do this. And so her backstory is that she's actually like a noble, so but not in the Iliac Bay. She's a Breton. So she's a noble from Evermore who rejected being a noble and like became a pirate instead and stuff like that. So like she's technically, yeah, we're not gonna be able to do this. Yeah, she's technically royalty. And so now I'm like deviating even further from like regular Daggerfall, because the big kink about the totem is that only royals can use the totem. So you see where I'm going with this. They're like slowly uncovering the actual like totem itself. They're aware of its existence, but that's about it, and that it's like kind of important and has been and is in the hands of some of the royals of the Iliac Bay, but they don't know what it does yet. So when the time comes and they actually have the totem, I think it's going to be interesting if they can use it, but I want to add more twists and stuff, so it isn't just like, oh, you have the totem, what do you want to do? And they're just like, oh, I want to destroy Numidium. I already have plans of like how I'm going to mess with that part of the story. But yeah, and also it's just fun going a bit more like expanding on the lore, sort of. Especially with like more modern stuff, like there being Dwemer ruins all over Hammerfell. I like the idea that in the post-war state that Hammerfell finds itself in, there's going to be a rise of sort of like almost fascism in some of the more like anti-empire states. So at the moment they've gone to Lane Lynn on their way to go to not Bethany, to Christ, what's it called? Balfiera. I was going to open my map then, but I can't. So they're on the way to Balfiera and they're going to Lane Lynn, but like there's like little tidbits on the wiki about the lore of Daggerfall where like the Baron of Lane Lynn is like a tyrant, and his brother is Lord Cain, who comes back in Oblivion, and I was like, this is just ripe for like a rebellion and a fascism story. And so I really like the idea that like, so this is my biggest, probably most like sacrilegious deviation from actual Daggerfall, is that Shrike, so the Baron of Lane Lynn, come on, why can't I hit this thing? There we go. The Baron of Lane Lynn, Shrike, was the first one to find the totem, because it was in a ruin. All right, this is gonna require like a big board and some red string, so buckle down. This is my adaptation of trying to make Daggerfall make sense, because by God does it need it. So Arthargo, well, what later canonically is called Arthargo, Lotun's brother that goes missing, who was sickly, he was the heir to the throne of Sentinel, but he was weak and sickly, and the powers of the Bay know that... Okay, is this a... No. The powers of the Bay know that this isn't peace at the moment, it's just an armistice, or it's just a calm before the storm, because they know they know about the totem, and they know about all of this, and they know it's coming because Gortwog's made copies of all of the letters, or made copies of the letter and sent them out. So they know, well, we need someone strong on the throne, and Arthargo ain't it, and Gretclith is. So I have it that, like, Vosek, the essentially head knight of Sentinel, conspired with Shrike to take Arthargo in the middle of the night to a dungeon near Lane Lynn that Shrike had found that contained the totem. But the problem is the totem only responds to royal blood, and neither Vosek nor Shrike are royal. Because Shrike, I've contrived that he's sort of like he started off as a nobody, or like a minor noble, and after the War of Bethany displaced the Baron that was there because the Baron died in the war and stuff like that. Like I've also been like rolling it that like Sentinel and Hammerfell in general are just way more ravaged since the war. Like they took way more losses. They have way more like, you know, essentially disabled veterans and like depravity, and like they're just hurting a lot more. So anyway, let's be careful. Let's not get lost in the sauce while we're telling the story. Ooh, careful now there, boy. So Shrike finds the totem, but none of them are royal, and they need to get rid of the boy because they don't want the boy to be wielding the totem. But then, unbeknownst to them, the totem starts like basically berating and shouting at Shrike, saying that he's not worthy, etc., and essentially drives him a little mad. And so he needs to... Space is pretty cool, isn't it? Don't know where to go. Okay, this bit. Let's see. This way. He goes mad, and he's like trying to essentially find someone who can wield it and essentially build up the army in Lane Lynn. And so this is where my players are going to come in. But then, so that's just one of my players. Another one is an ex-necromancer of the King of Worms. And so their motivation is, fuck that guy, and everything he stands for. But at the same time, like, the King of Worms is a active participant in the Iliac Bay. He's not just a passive spooky boy who sits in a lair and occasionally sends out a zombie. No, he's actively working towards his apotheosis of trying to become a god. Hey, look at this. Ooh. Okay, we're out of food. Good stuff. We might have to go back to town if we don't find any more rations. And so... Oh man, we're getting into like deepest like DM headcanon coda shit. But so part of Shrike's like plan is to plunder all of the Dwemer ruins nearby and basically learn how to reuse their tech and, you know, essentially shore up for the coming battle. If he can't have Numidium, well, what's the next best thing is all the Dwemer technology that's beneath their feet. But the problem is it's very hard to get that stuff working. Nobody knows how it works. But you know what did work was the heart of the Underking, which is kind of necromantic if you think about it. So do we have a secret door? Yeah. And so the King of Worms, Manny Marco, might have something to say about this and something to offer. So I'm kind of like having like a clash of these factions where the head architect of Leyland, man, we are absolutely lost. Hang on. I can't talk and navigate. We need to get back to here. So we need to go up. Okay, and it's a little like corkscrew. So like the head architect, under all this pressure, essentially makes a deal with the necromancers for like soul gems and souls to be able to reanimate the... Here we go. To reanimate the like Dwemer constructs, unbeknownst to Shrike, who as a Red Guard would be vehemently opposed to that sort of thing. Let's see. Where will we be able to get rations? Greenhouse Hall looks like a town. So yeah. I hope you've yeah, I did, dickhead. Oh no, this isn't a town. Yeah, I hope you weren't bored to tears by that, but like this is like the kind of like extra sauce you can put into this when you run it as a D&D campaign, and it's all basically going to be brought back to the main plot and to give it more like, so that the totem isn't just this like thing that comes out of nowhere at the end. Like behind the scenes, all of the powers of the Bay are all trying to find what happened, but like Shrike had it. But you know how if you're unworthy and you hold on to the totem for too long, it just disappears? That's essentially what happened to him. He had it for too long without being worthy, and it just went off to find a new host, which is going to be Woodborne. And so they're going to eventually go to Balfiera, do Medora's stuff, and then go on to Wayrest, where they're going to meet Woodborne, and he's going to be like very sympathetic to like the orcs, like on the surface, and so he's going to come across as a bit more like of a good guy and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm very excited to just like flesh these things out, especially like where if you've not read them, Ted Peterson, the like head writer of, well, probably the only writer actually of Daggerfall, I think. And no rations, huh? He did an extra like bunch of books written from Woodborne's point of view, and they just flesh the character out so much, and it's so cool. And so that's just what I want to do justice with the rest of the game. I don't know. It's fun to think about, and how it like you can kind of take these pieces, these like, you know, incomplete looks into what's actually happening in the Bay that Daggerfall gives you, and trying to piece it together into something coherent, while also making it an engaging, you know, D&D campaign. Okay, that's plenty of rations. Do we have anything to sell actually? Oh, we got an arrow, probably from being shot. No. 0 gold, thanks. What else have we got actually while we're here? Water breathing. We already have that. Ooh, silver mace, 4 to 12. I think I would love a mace, because those are blunt, and our blunt is better than our axe for now. We were here. Yeah. It's quite a shame that we it's really hard to actually like, I mean, it's the story of any D&D game, but like it's really hard to actually like organize times where all the players are free. So there's another player as well who's a warlock, essentially. Like there's not really a warlock class in... Where's the door? Where am I going? Oh, here's a door. But he's a warlock of Mafala. Let's see. How do I do this? There we go. I remember how to do this. He's a warlock of Mephala, and like her whole thing is like the web of fate. And so he has dreams where essentially like it's been revealed that the whole reason that Mephala has singled him out, on top of the fact that he's like kind of low intelligence and like very easily manipulated. There you go. There's a bit we haven't been. Just keep walking. Is that he's going to end up involved. Like Mephala can see somewhere in the future, in the web of fate, that his path is going to cross with the Numidium, eventually, but she doesn't know that yet. All she sees is something really fucking up timelines in the future. Like he's had a dream where like he can see the threads of fate of all the people he's with, all leading to one moment that's just like an incomprehensible mess of tangle of spider webs. And she's like, this isn't right. I don't know why this is happening. And you're going to find out. And then obviously, to us, who know what happens in Daggerfall, or at least hopefully you know what happens in Daggerfall, the Numidium awakens and there's a dragon break. You were here the whole time, motherfucker. What were you doing in here? God damn it. Hello, Lysana Coppercroft Shoes, you say? Yes, I believe I ran across a reference to that thing just last week. Where did I put those notes? Here we are. Mellow Amber Sparking. That's vintage Lysana Coppercroft. Sure, looks like it was in the Dungeon of Tristane. Thank you, sir. Yeah, and it causes a dragon break, which royally fucks up with the timeline. And so it's just a... Did I just go down and then back up again? Man, these like all of these dungeon tiles, they're just laser engineered to wreck your sense of direction. I swear. How do I get back up there? I think maybe this way. Yeah, it's all stuff I'm looking forward to, but like I say, it's nigh on impossible to organise it with any sense of regularity. So we've been playing for a few years, and they've gone from level 1 to level 6. And they've done... they've met Brisciana, they've figured out that Lysandus never died on the Battle of Kringane Field, which they did by other means. Because, like, I offhandedly mentioned that there was the only people that were with Lysandus when he died were his son and his physician, the court healer that pronounced him dead. And so they were like, well, the son's an asshole, Gothrid, so let's find the healer. And I was like, oh fuck, that character doesn't exist in the game. I'm gonna have to make this shit up. And they basically just like, because they'd done a favour for Alb Key in Daggerfall, they were like, hey, can you do us a favour and get us in an audience with the healer? And she was like, absolutely. Dungeon of Tristane. And so they essentially... they essentially, like, threatened this guy and also cast Detect Thoughts, or like whatever the spell is, I can't remember, on him. Oh, I left my horse. I left my horse. Oh no. Let's pretend that didn't happen. Yeah, they cast Detect Thoughts, so they were like interrogating him with Detect Thoughts up. And so they could tell in his thoughts he was like, that wasn't Lysandus that died. And they were like, what do you mean? And he was just like, get the fuck out. Don't mention this. Or they're gonna fucking kill me. And it was just like such a cool moment that doesn't happen in Daggerfall. That's not how you find out in Daggerfall. You find out in Daggerfall by, I think it's Lotun. It's just like, hey, I know I'm like 12, but here's what I've heard. Oh, I'm not going to be able to do this, am I? Hang on, wait. How do I do this? There we go, that's it. Oh, that doesn't make it easier to climb, does it? That's just for climbing when you can't normally. Sorry, Wenceslas. Alright, off we go again. Yeah, it's just a cool moment you don't get in normal Daggerfall, and that's the kind of stuff I really like going sort of off script for. Alright. Now now that we've got Wenceslas, let's try this again. Yeah. And it's just fun to have that sort of sandbox, kind of blending it with modern Elder Scrolls. I know some people might find that a little sacrilegious, but just being able to blend it with like modern Elder Scrolls stuff. Sorry, my cat started making a bunch of noise, so I stopped the recording while she was doing that. Yeah, just being able to blend it with like modern Elder Scrolls stuff, like the modern interpretations of the Daedric princes, all the more modern lore like the Dwemer, stuff like that. We're getting really lucky with our enemies that we're rolling. Actually, let's have a quick rest so we get some magic for the dungeon. And just kind of give them a little like whistle-stop tour of the Elder Scrolls setting, because like apart from the Warlock guy, neither of them know anything about Elder Scrolls. Ooh. Okay. Let you two fight it out, and I'll fight the victor. So like this was actually a suggestion from someone in the Delvebound, which is the adaptation of 5e for Elder Scrolls, in the Delvebound Discord, was that for getting the unicorn horn for Medora, which they're going to have to do, so they get like Durrani Tower is going to be a dungeon that they have to like ascend this like tower of undead, and they're going to be like, why the hell are there so many undead here? I mean, Steel War Axe is cool, but then I lose my shield, which is giving me only +4 armor, man. Yeah, it's going to be this, like... Oh, just that easy. Dungeon crawl, and they're going to get to the top. And then I don't want it to be like in regular Daggerfall. I don't know why I saved, but maybe just in case it crashes. Where you just have to like keep going back through dungeons you've already done. And so somebody suggested that like for the Unicorn Horn, you have to go to Hircine's realm, which Medora, being, you know, a really powerful sorceress, would probably be able to do. She herself can't leave, doesn't mean she can't open portals to Oblivion. So, yeah, they're gonna, instead of just like going to Shedungeon again and finding Nulfaga, who they really don't trust, which is fair enough, they're gonna go to the hunting grounds, I believe it's called, and try and hunt down a unicorn, while also being hunted down by all the things in Hircine's realm. So that's going to be a fun set piece, I think. Speaking of Nulfaga, okay, I know this episode has just kind of divulged into Sam tells you about all the cool D&D lore he made up, but to some people that's interesting, and that's more interesting than me just saying, you know, what's happening on screen. You can see what's happening on screen. Oh my god. We do have to be mindful that we aren't going to just, like, up and die while doing this. Silver Mace again. Give me a steel mace or something. Chain, yeah. Yeah, speaking of Nulfaga, so something I've been trying to, like, make sense of. I'm avoiding pressing any switches until I see anything that they pertain to. Speaking of Nulfaga, to make her make more sense, and also to make the final dungeon make a little bit more sense. Because, like, in Daggerfall proper, you find the totem, you give it to someone, and then Nulfaga just kind of, like, reaches out through the void and is like, hello there. Looking for the Mantella, are we? Good thing I know where it is. Haha. And she just sends you to Aetherius. Well, to the Mantellan Crux, which is a pocket realm of Aetherius, whatever. But like Sheogorath is there for whatever reason, which is like a cool cameo. But like, so, oh yes, still curious. Let's see, what is it? 7, 9. Can't carry any more. Well, what if I could? Lovely. Looks exactly the same, just a little shinier. But yeah, so Sheogorath is there in Aetherius, in a pocket realm of Aetherius that Nulfaga, a crazy sorceress, knows how to get to. So I think the Mantellan Crux is like, this is pure like cope. This isn't my genuine like belief about it, but this is how I'm gonna sort of like square the circle in the game. Is the Mantellan Crux is a pocket of Aetherius, sort of, but it's more like a pocket realm of Oblivion that's near Aetherius, and it's sort of like near Sheogorath's realm, and that's why there's Daedra in there, like Atranax. I know Atranax in this game aren't Daedra, but like Daedra spill through the walls between the Crux and Oblivion, and Sheogorath is there, and Nulfaga, for whatever reason, is trying to find the Mantella, and like Sheogorath finds her and kind of not makes her mad, but like exploits her sort of emotional fragility at the moment of her son being murdered and stuff like that, and so just tips her over the edge, and that's why she's absolutely batty. I don't know, it just feels like there's dots there to be connected, and it's fun to connect them, you know? I don't really want a pair of shears. I don't know. It's fun to come up with, and like I just wonder like if other people, like, I know I'm definitely not the first person to run Daggerfall as a D&D game. Also, our speed is like abysmal. Yeah, we need a wagon, although that's not really going to help because we're wearing most of our stuff. I'm not the first person to run Daggerfall as D&D, so I'm so curious as to like what other people have done to A, make sense of this, but also just like because of their circumstances, like, you know, what were the backstories of their characters, what were the characters interested in, and stuff like that. So yeah, that is the extent of my headcanon. That's not really headcanon. That's not what I believe is actually happening in this game. Oh, go on, we're near the exit, let's keep going. But it's like how I'm going to make sense of... Oh, and that was this bit, was it? Right. Okay, we'll go see what's popping down here. I don't know. I think it's a fun exercise, and it makes it rewarding for the players to have a more cohesive, understandable plot than just... yeah, I don't want to do that. Than just what you get in the game. Oh Christ! Why? Oh, it's just a rat. Was this yours? Was that your Eodoric? Stupid game. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. Like, what do you think about that? Does it make sense? How do you like make sense of the plot of Daggerfall? Because like I think intentionally so, Daggerfall is like intentionally an incomplete look into the reality. Like what you see is not everything in Daggerfall. This is a cool asset, by the way. I don't think I've ever seen this. Yeah, what you see in Daggerfall is not everything. And it's up to you to piece together the dots. So, yeah. Just also, on a completely different tangent, seeing this and the shears from earlier, I've seen posts in the Lysandus's Tomb, Daggerfall Discord. There's like that's where I've been hanging out with other modders when I made my mod, and I've seen somebody who wants to make like crafting in Daggerfall, and like all the assets are there, like a little spinning wheel to make cloth, like shears, like you probably get leather off of animals of like varying quality depending on how tough the animal is. Oh man, we're just we're just wandering now. I think that would be cool to be able to make your own armor. But I don't know. A crafting system is one of the things that I think Daggerfall doesn't lack. I think part of the joy of Daggerfall is finding loot. And the thing that Skyrim and then later Elder Scrolls game, not Elder Scrolls, but later Bethesda games struggle with is loot no longer feels special if you can basically craft everything. Or like everything you can craft is better, or like you can craft better stuff than anything you can find, rather. And Daggerfall avoids that by not letting you craft anything. How do we get out of here? I'll tell you how we get out of here. We fast travel. Where to? Azimuth all vectors. Warridge Moor. Before we go... Yeah, we do have the shoes. Good, good. I know we picked it up, but like I could just see me leaving and not having the shoes. But I think especially with clothes, I think it would be fun to make clothes, because clothes aren't really loot unless you're playing like a unarmed character or unarmored character. Let's see if we can ditch some loot first. Are we actually carrying any loot we want to sell? I was just saying, like, clothes, this scarab. These ingredients, we need to find an alchemist, really. Hello there. Be blunt. Damn the dragon, it's you. What is it? Hi, where's vintage antidotes? Sure. Oh, thank you very much. In the north. But yeah, like Daggerfall does something right that I don't see in a lot of other games, which is it being it's a medieval fantasy life simulator. Is this the alchemist? It is. There's no sign. Oh, interesting. And being able to like essentially get a job and craft things to sell them to make money. I don't know. I kind of like that. We're not really going to be able to afford any potions, are we? Potion of healing, 100 gold actually. That's not as an emergency. I don't mind that. Yeah, and so like being able to go out to dungeons to like hook into that loop, get materials from like, you know, leather from enemies. We still need to sell the clothes. Find a clothes shop, and or like ores. In someone was saying that like you could have like a mine dungeon type, which has or I think there already is a mine dungeon type. It's just not very obvious. You don't have any clothes shops. Okay, what about a pawn shop? I think I've already been to the pawn shop. Yeah. It could make a satisfying loop. It's just because then it's more loot, but in the end it's just, you know, busy work clicking through menus to make money, and after a certain point money becomes kind of worthless in this game. But do pawn shops open late? Is that what that is? Yes. Do you buy clothes? You do. I don't need any of those. What do you have? Ooh. Can I haggle you? I can. Look at that. Do you buy the... Yeah. Oh, I'm not using the flail and it's just taking up inventory space. We're axe until we find a good mace. 9:32. The Mage's Guild still isn't going to be open. I think we're just going to camp outside until they open up. Try not to run anyone over. Right. In we go. Who are you? Oh, good heavens, I remember now. Lucina Coppercroft's shoes, of course. And here it is. Well, as it happens, while you were gone, I had quite a breakthrough in my research. You see, it wasn't the Azimuth vectors at all. The key to the whole problem is actually... Well, the point is I no longer need the shoes. It's a beautiful piece of work, though, isn't it? Why don't you keep it, since you went through all the trouble to find it for me? Now, if you excuse me, I must get back to work. Cool. Well... Let's get these bad boys identified then, I guess. Gotta go through and find the bloody identify man. No. What training do you offer? Okay. Wouldn't be the worst idea in the world to get some restoration training, maybe. Oh, restoration is one of our primary skills. Awesome. Yeah, it would be very good. Oh man, blunt's one as well. We really need to get a mace and actually use our primary skills more often. You're not the identify guy. No, the identify guy is the guy in the green shirt. Which I think is through here normally. Oh man, it's the absolute maze. Wait. Huh? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Right. Up here. There he is. Yeah, alright, tell me what these shoes do. Dead man's shoes. Interesting. Cast when used, Firestorm. Okay, that's a nice little get out of jail free card, and hopefully we don't catch ourselves in the crossfire. Yeah, that could be dangerous. Alright, well, I think we're looking pretty good. Another day, still alive. Well, thank you very much. And honestly, if you've made it this far, thank you for listening to my ramblings about my headcanons for Daggerfall, because not everyone would. So, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.